Hey, welcome back. MTG Joe here, mostly over my flute. So we are gonna be jamming some Historic today. In June, the Qualifier weekend is Historic, my favorite format. So I want to try to find a deck that's not Sorin to play in the event. Just get it a little bit different. There's some cool cards that came out. Want to see what works, what doesn't, and kind of build it from there. So I'm just gonna get started. We're gonna be playing a couple different decks today. I'm gonna get started for the recording, and we will jump into it. We are live, so appreciate everyone hanging out and chatting. Sorry, my cable got stuck there. So today we got some Historic on the channel. Qualifier for June is Historic Best of 3. Best of 1, I'm probably just going to run Auras for the event. It's the most linear, gets the job done. But I've been having a lot of fun with various Emperor of the Bones cheating out Ulamog from your graveyard style decks. How that works for those unfamiliar is Ulamog sees itself in exile, so it comes in as a 17/17 haste, so you annihilate their board, ruin their dreams, hopes, and aspirations. So we're going to be playing Grixis Arcanist. And the card that kind of gives Arcanist some life is this Swiftspear's Teaching. So it's a 1 mana, lets you give your next creature you cast haste and prowess, and you draw a card. So it's a cantrip that lets Arcanist attack right away. Worst case, it just flashes back another Swiftspear. So then it lets it go into the next one as well. We have Tamiyo in here that could be flipped by looting. We have the Emperor Bones package. We have Psychic Frog. We have Expressive Iteration. Another Goy Croxa for value. Claim Fame can bring it back. Playing this over Unearth because we're not playing Oculus and this has more upside. A bunch of discard effects. Fatal Push kind of mixed in. Sideboard into the Flood Mod. Just catch all bounce. Spell Pierce, Cheap Disruption. Pithing Needle for activated abilities. Naming Sorin mostly. Consign to Memory. Very good against the Eldrazi decks. You're able to stifle the abilities and basically counter their spells. Stone of Erich for the sack decks, Pyroclasm for sweeper, and Torpor Orb as ETB effects. The one thing with this, I believe companions are bugged right now. Because if you look, I have a companion, but then I also have 15 sideboard slots. 3, 6, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So yeah, we're going to just play without Jengantha for now. As though we don't have it. It's bugged right now. You can play Jengantha. This gives us more slots in the sideboard to try out as well. Also gives a little bit less information. So we're going to try this out and see how it plays out. Hey Bruno, yeah, Final Fantasy will be legal. So these decks are subject to change. A lot of the cards from Final Fantasy, honestly, to me, are Commander level. Everything's like super expensive, so unless you're cheating it into play, I haven't really seen anything that's stood out to the same extent as some of the other cards. But we'll see once it comes out. Force of Negation's likely not legal in this format anyways, so that would be the biggest kind of impact. So we will jam Grixis Arcanist and see how it plays out. Basically trying out some different things. We have a Mardu No-ETB deck that you cheat out Flage and Croxa. And then there's also Izzet Core Steel deck, but playing an Affinity Shell. Trying out that as well. Let's try this. We need a discard outlet, but we have the Arcanist line. Probably Eldrazi. Okay, we've drawn way too many lines. Could be land destruction. Nope. So we probably lost this one, just given how our hands come together, no discard. We have Expressive, and then we can flash back Expressive. Sorry, I'm still getting over being sick, so bear with me. Yeah, Flush Raker. I think we have to go the expressive line here. So we'll put Cameo into exile. We'll see what we get off this. I might actually opt to not do it this turn. Just gives us some more flexibility next turn. Oh, I forgot Tameo got haste. That was my mistake. So we did miss out here.
I must investigate this scroll further.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we could be getting Ulamog'd this turn. Or, Ugin. Belt Drifter. Equally as bad. Can't really do much into that. His hand just hasn't come together. I'm doing this for the prowess. Because now I expressive. Can't recall if I played a line for turn. Can't remember if we were on the play or draw. I think we were on the draw. I think we draw here. We'll discard Ulamog just because if we hit Emperor of Bones, it's good. We can combo that turn. Hand's been awkward. We've been drawing basically no looting effects, no spells other than expressive. We have a lot of cantrips and stuff. Just draw Ugin. We need discarder stuff early. Consign to memory, very good here. Their stuff's cast triggers, so doesn't really matter there. I think Spell Pierce is reasonable. We can probably get rid of Inquisition. The Flood Maw's interesting. It's like a tempo play, but I don't think it's that great. They probably bring in some sort of graveyard hate, so probably cut Croxa. Probably cut... Oh, these Fatal Pushes seem bad. They don't actually do anything, so keep some Inquisition in. Probably Bloodmaw. Run it like that. Awkward game. If we had like a Faithless Looting or stuff like that, we had to use Expressive for like no value. That hand's not great. This one's okay. Again, like really want a discard effect. The other hand, I guess, was okay because we could have hasted out the Frog, which might have been right. It's an interesting one. We could honestly like keep up with them. It's just that the stupid Ugin's just gonna wipe out my board. so it limits what we can really do. If they always have the ramp on 1, it's really bad. 7 card have ramp on 1, and we're somehow just drawing nothing but lands in a 20 land deck. We'll attack with Frog here. I feel like our deck has nothing but lands and expressive iterations. As I said, lands and expressive iterations. Opted to keep this and not fetch. This is on blue right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We just haven't put enough pressure. We need to find a discard spell. Could be Karn. That's certainly annoying. I could have discarded to get flying. That doesn't seem like great value. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the problem. They're just like bigger fishing us, and we're just not putting enough pressure to actually make it worthwhile. Get Dispute out of their hands. If we could dodge Ugin for a turn, might be okay, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, land 7 Ugin. Problem is we also don't have any cheap spells for this Arcanist, and it doesn't have prowess right now. Done a very good job of dodging all our discard effects. Fine. We might need the full Thoughtseize. Oh my god. They've had like every dispute. I could attack with this, it forces them into potentially blocking. But I think we're just gonna do this, try to find something else. I think we're just looting here. Find the Lion Sago. Can't really do much. Just gotta dodge Eldrazi for a turn. The big one. Don't really have a nice answer to that. Past teachings. We'll discard. Again, it's not great, but I have to try to do this the longer the game goes. Just pass the turn. They annihilate, hit a land. If I hit a creature, it's not too bad, because it does haste out. I'm holding for now because depending what they have, this can at least fake as though I have like consigned to memory or something. Rumble, they find their Ulama or their Ugin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So next turn I'm getting hit with it. Nope. Guess they had one floating, so I die. And that was really awkward. Just didn't see spells in the right order. Probably need more cheap stuff. These expresses are a bit awkward since we can't naturally cast them. Let's try a Surveil. More draw. We're competing with the graveyard already, so Nethergoyst's probably fine as the only thing, and I probably just want to go up the other Roxa. Hard to kind of beat that deck when you're not getting your spells. Ugin's Binding's gonna... It doesn't make sense for our deck. In their deck, like, the only card that matters, like, really is Ugin. Once that hits, there's no way for me to win. Karn could be okay, but we just didn't put enough pressure. If you give him, like, that many turns. It's kind of that modern where you're trying to play a fair mid-rangey deck and they just skip on mana. Alright. They just don't want to play against us because we're in Mythic. Any of those games we get like a Thoughtseize style effect, it would have been good. We had Arcanists going. We'll give this one another one, see how it plays. This is annoying. They're gonna concede, just concede. Hit submit, concede. I don't understand why you're going to sideboard. The issue, we got consigned to memory or Thoughtseize, I think the game goes a bit different, but without those, game one we just didn't have any looting style effects. The Expressives should in theory be a good card, but we're kind of limited on how much mana we typically have. They have the diminishing returns from Arcanist in subsequent turns, so you lose out on some of that as well. All right, friend, what's happening? Yellow. What is happening? 2 minutes of sideboard? Because looking at the meta right now, like Eldrazi's pretty high up there, so you have to consider for it. There's also like auras, there's the various energy piles, there's the Sorin piles. Do they just like go away? What's happening? Money lands seems like it should be fine. This is really just a dead card most of the time. It might be just not playing this. Doesn't really play with the rest of the package here, because this doesn't really do much outside of that. You cut these, it opens you up 5 spots. You can play the full set of considers, and then probably Amped Raptor, which has some utility too, just gives you kind of some card advantage. You can go Luris Companion afterwards to just bring in some more interaction main. Where is this opponent? The new Azorius creature that is 8 mana. No, it's not. So it only gives you protection. Itself has no protection. It's an 8 mana spell that dies to any common removal. In control, you're typically wanting to play sweepers or stuff like that. It's more of an EDH card, probably. Because even, like, why spend the task of reanimating that when you can reanimate a Traxa that has an ETB effect, or just other effects that are more reasonable? That's the problem with a lot of these Final Fantasy cards, is they're all like 6, 7, 8 mana. Like realistically, if we look at the format, like there's the RC this weekend, it's 36% Izzet Prowess, which is trying to kill you on turn 3 to 5. You can't play do nothing stuff. Omni combo will combo you on turn 4 or 5. Then you have like the discard decks that are gonna kind of get you that way there. I think there's a lot of flashy stuff, but not necessarily a lot of great quality stuff. All right, a playable hand. We do need some blue mana, but I think it's fine. They're discarding, so we'll lead off on Thoughtseize. They're down to 5. So that's a good follow-up. Okay. Weird-ass jank. Mana Flare. Target player taps land, they get additional. Two Chimleys. When this creature is dealt damage, it deals 5 damage to target creature. Well, they're a ways away from that, so this. Try to find some blue mana. That's not blue mana. Take out their last Chimley. Casual deal. Oh my god, we're just never finding lands. $15 cards, 2 lands. We'll get Psychic Frog since it could start drawing us cards. And then we could consider, we could also looting here. We got some options. So Historic is a fun format. You can try to play some budget decks. Some of the top decks do tend to be more mana intensive. There are 2 mana decks that you can get away with. Let me just play out this turn and I'll explain. Let's do Teachings. Just Teachings out Arcanist, like the following turn. Push some damage. Yeah, most of the free spells are only ever timeless legal. Oh man, we cannot find lands. We're 18 cards and we found 2 lands this game. Hey, we did it! We did it. We found the land. We'll give this haste. Play looting. This is still kind of funny. We are 22 cards and we've seen 3 lands. So let's the Spear's Teaching, Faithless Looting. We need an untapped land anyways. Plus putting land in the graveyard gives us a boost. So 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. Alright. Yeah, so you can play stuff like Wizards if you have some of the mana base from Standard. There's Mono Green, but Mono Green has a lot of intensive wild cards. A lot of it is affected by Modern Horizons and some of the Alchemy sets, but they're not like too much from Alchemy, I'd say. So they're just like big stuff, like Chimley seems like something we'd probably want to keep off them. Maybe some Spell Pierce. I honestly just think Spell Pierce is probably fine. The Inquisitions probably aren't going to hit much seeing their hand. Run it back like this. I mean, the deck's good when your opponent mulligans to 5 and you Thoughtseize them 4 times. That looks decent. We have the Frog line. Oh, I should have got rid of the Fatal Push. They don't do anything. Yeah, that was a little bit of a miss. Should have cut Fatal Push. Let's make sure Frog doesn't die. Okay, so they're a dinosaur deck that we just didn't see dinosaurs last time. Okay, so good thing we kept Fatal Push. Gonna get rid of this one. More annoying with just the damage dealt. So I've looked quickly, but a lot of the cards are very expensive. I'll have to take like another pass through when some of the stuff comes up. Back here. I'm doing this because I do have access to the Fatal Push, so it's fine. I can deal with this token. Cards, so consider here. Fatal Push, and then I could discard my whole hand to get them, but I think this turn it's better to just 1, 2. Actually, let's do this. Bring you back. Then 1, 2, 3. Because I think if I have Arcanist, then I do want access to the Thoughtseize. This will draw me a card. You need a way to enable Revolt here, but second big dino. That is scary. Could have discarded 3. That wouldn't have been enough. At this point, our life total's too low to be doing that. Red Horde's not bad, but don't really have spells for it, because the line here is probably going to be me blocking one of these and then double Fatal Pushing. So definitely needed to reconsider. Hey Scarlet, how's it going? Like how we're approaching this matchup, we didn't see really any small creatures. We just saw like mana confluence and stuff. Do this. Double Fatal Push here. Card. The double Arcanist. We probably play it out, see what we get. I'm going to hold off here, because if they play something small, I can potentially enable Revolt. And then I can also set up looting here. Let's do this first. Okay, so we got the Emperor for the following turn, which is nice. Yeah, if you like the stuff like with Final Fantasies and stuff, like all for you. For me, it doesn't really do much for me. I was never a big Final Fantasy fan. Let's just put this in the graveyard. We're gonna Emperor Ulamog next turn. Fortunately, this isn't really a real deck we're playing against. The Gruul Dinos. Lands. This is 3 CMC. Alright, so for those unfamiliar, combo time. So you go full control. Go into your graveyard. You get Ulamog the Defiler. You activate. You get a 7/7 Ulamog. 17/17 Ulamog. Draw a card, and then just kind of blow up their lives. Flawless victory. That worked pretty well. But again, not really a real deck. We'll try this one more time. Big thunderstorm here, got caught, and my dog was scared, so my wife was asking for updates. We'll run one more with this, see how it plays out. So far, a bit clunky. Now we're just not going to see lines. Cool. Cool. That, so they're on Mardu Sack. Let's get rid of you. Probably you. Being short on blocks kind of awkward. That's been very frustrating just with lines. You need to hit Marionette Apprentice. Ah, this is frustrating. Twelve cards, you can't hit 3 lands. Even though we started with 1 in hand, but still. Okay, this deck's cursed. How? 13 cards. A third of our deck is lands. You'd expect to hit at least one. Because we needed to kill this that turn. Hit a Peddler, but doesn't really do much. Get rid of Emperor of Bones. First to hand. Last card, Fatal Push. Of course. Oh, come on. 14 cards, 2 lands. Torpor Orb, as well as Stone of Erich, Pyroclasm, and then probably for bombardment. Probably going to be tough for the Ulamog lines in this deck. Like that. It's tough sometimes to like even have a meaningful game when the deck's just like, hey, what if we just didn't give you lands? Gonna draw nothing but lands. Fatal Push is good. Maybe shouldn't have shocked there. Goblin, Bombard. Keep this. I meant to cast this first. Let's do this. Draw another card. Another land. Been too clunky, this deck.
May our axes strike as one.
Look at their counter, but kill it before they can do anything. They could be playing like tower. That would have worked. So they should have played the tower first. This is good in that deck. Probably try something like that out. So realistically, I have expressive for next turn, since I could do expressive this turn, but I kind of want to needle this Phyrexian Tower since it limits what they can do. So let's discard the lands. It cuts them off like the amount of mana they can produce. Expressive, I have the Fatal Push for next turn. We cut them off 2 of their sack outlets. Conviction gets them a couple cards. Currently don't have access to black mana. They don't have another colored source. They can't prismatic ending me. Nightmare. Feel like that's Fragment Reality.
If you need me, I'll be in the library.
It's annoying. So, and oh no! I meant to put this in hand. That was my mistake. That wasn't what I was supposed to. And then we got cut off. Red. Innocent's Blood's an interesting one in here. It's tough. Like, it's just weird variants that we got. This seems very aggressive to play in a 3-color deck like this when you're also playing Phyrexian Tower, usually as a 3 or 4 of. This deck's just been cursed. Now they're gonna flip a Johnny, and then we're dead. Actually, kill a Johnny before they could play a Johnny, so they don't get the cat trigger, but I'm largely dead here. Oh, this is a mana ability. Okay, wait. This deck doesn't work. Oh, nice. Boko Boko, whatever its name is. Alright, this deck didn't work. That's why we try. We see what works, what doesn't. This one was not it. So let's give this one a go, see how it plays. In a second, we'll jump in. Welcome back, MTG Joe here. Today we're trying out historic decks, trying to see if we can find a way to break the format that isn't just playing Sorin deck or Lotus Field. So we are going to be trying out an Izzet Corey Steel deck. Corey Steel cares about playing 2 cards, very popular in a bunch of different formats. We're trying it in an Affinity shell in historic. The qualifier weekend is going to be historic in June, so want to see if we can find a deck. So this deck's got like Emery, Tameo, Mox Amber. We have a bunch of different ways to make Thopters. Ornithopter, Retrofitter Foundry, get the 4/4s. Yodian, same way. You have your Affinity cards to draw you a bunch of cards. Kappa Cannoneer on the top end. What I like about this is on turn 2 in this deck, you have 8 ways to trigger it with being 0 mana. So you get a token right away playing this proactively on turn 2. Sideboard, Consign to Memory for big Eldrazi decks. Spell Snare for cheap counters. Change the equation for like the red and green decks. Tormod's Crypt, Graveyard Hate, Into the Flood Mod, cheap bounce. We have Pithing Needle activated abilities, Stone of Erich for the sacrifice decks. So we'll try this out. we tried Grixis Arcanist. It was poo-poo caca, as the kids say. You gotta do giant chicken guy, though, in your costume. We're live, so you'll see chat kind of playing in. Okay, what are the chances that Ugin Avatar is playing Eldrazi? We also have yet to go first in any games today. We had a game with Grixis Pyromancer where we drew 22 cards and only had 2 lands, which was fun. This is fine, I think. Yeah, Eldrazi. The one thing with Eldrazi we have to be mindful of is a Karn plus can blow up our lands and shut off some of our abilities. So they're a big Eldrazi. So kind of a cool line here. Oh no, that only makes colorless. Okay, that also works. So Corey Steel. Target Corey Steel. Play that out. And next turn, I can play this. This is another artifact for Affinity. That's 2, so I can Tameo and play that. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're just gonna get Eldrazi next turn. That's also nice. So if that's the case, we do this, this, kill this, play this, play this.
Perhaps there are more useful texts down on
Flip
the surface.
Tameo.
I'd love to hear stories from your
Did that in case we drew like another non-creature.
Use your words.
So we got a lot of threats, so a single Ugin won't be the end of the world. Writhing Chrysalis. We do have Galvanic here. Thoughtcast is a great draw here. So this can get up to a 5 power. So interesting here. Tap that. Play that. And then problem is like this just gets out of range for me. I do have to be wary of like big Ugin here. So that's would be 8, 12 lethal. Got him. All right. That felt cool. So this deck we want Consigned to Memory. Will likely be, they're all colorless, so we don't really have much beyond that. I don't know if they're on Karn. So it's probably just that. Karn's going to be a problem regardless. Probably... Trim a Tameo, maybe? Maybe trim a Foundry. Trim an Emery. Trim a Yodian. I think we still want like the big stuff. Kind of get them from there. That was impressive. We pushed out a huge bunch of damage. Okay, so they are on Big Ugin as well.
I've read nearly the entire library.
Alright, not bad for a turn 1. That's our turn 1. What do you got, opponent? Rumble. Yikes, that's a scary rumble. Some of our stuff being colorless is nice. Sign is very nice here. Did want to draw land
Tell
though.
me everything you know about this plane.
I think I have to chance it and try to draw land. One, two, three, four. I think this turn we're okay. It's like the subsequent turns. What do I have in my graveyard? Nothing for Emery right now. But it could give me something cheap. It can make me loop. We got that, which is good at least. One, two, three, four, five. Do need to keep up 2 mana now. Each turn. No! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Frig. Friggity, friggity, frig. Didn't need him to have Chalice that turn. Like, we dodged Chalice for 1 turn, we're okay.
A good story can refresh the mind.
1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last card, Ugin. I die. I can't really do anything there. Also die to that. Yeah. I mean, we had the answer in hand. They just, last card had Chalice. Problem is this doesn't even deal with that. Because Flood Maw, they Chalice on 1, it gets me. Just unlucky. We could play a Braid, but even then that's not great. Like, Chalice on 1 isn't the be-all end-all versus us. But it's still like an annoying card. I'd Devour in their opener every time. Does it work with Replicate? But I thought Replicate was... I didn't know that. The more you know.
Curious. I must investigate this scroll.
Having their best draw. They're gonna have now Myco Spawn. 2 ramps. Chalice on 0, Micro Spawn, all in your opener. I don't think we can play these fair decks. Because they're already at 6 mana on turn 2. Or turn 3. I can't even do anything. Alright. I'm just drawing cards, but like, we have no end game. These decks just don't work. Like, this format's too good to know at least about Consign, but I don't think this is gonna work. You're just not doing enough with this deck. Like, there's no top-end power. So that one... Like, looking at this was the other idea. Kind of an escape package. We'll give this a go. I can't tell if Jangantha's bugged or not, so we'll give it a go, but... Lose to Eldrazi. Welcome back, MTG Joe here. We are trying out decks, seeing if anything can break the historic format ahead of the next qualifier in June. Trying out a bunch of whole things that aren't Sorin, Eldrazi, or Lotus until we eventually just go to one of those decks and settle potentially. But trying a no-ETB deck, so should be good against anything with Enter the Battlefield effects. Hushbringer and Strict Proctor both shut off ETBs, so Kroxa and Flage both come in. You don't sacrifice them. You don't get the ETB effect, but they stick around. 2 and 3 mana 6/6 with upside on attacks, very strong. Some Fables to kind of clean through the deck. Faithless Looting, same idea. And then there is just a bunch of discard, some removal kind of scattered in. Fragment Reality as a cheap removal option. Stone for sack decks. Containment Priest for Sorin decks. Surgical Extraction. Now notably, Containment Priest is a non-bow with our escapes, so keep that in mind. But for Sorin, I needed something. Extraction for combo. Wear Terror, Artifact, Enchantment Hate. Pithing Needle, activated abilities. Another High Noon for kind of the Storm decks. I do think we probably want just another Thoughtseize for Eldrazi. Just their high end, like their plays on the top end are very tough to deal with, but We'll give this one a go. So far, it's been tough trying to attack like the top end of the format with brews, but we'll give this one a go and see how it goes. Usually YouTube Live has like a 30-second to minute lag from like talking to it coming in live, but shouldn't be too much of a difference. I'm only streaming here. Try this. Everybody's on Eldrazi. I don't think we they always have it every single time. Always double Myco spawn. Or Malavin Rumble. There's an Ugin's Binding in the graveyard we have to be mindful of. They have access to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 potentially. Oh, that's bad. If they have blue mana, they just evoke this. Thank you, Hugo. Come on. Like, they went from just those to finding the perfect cards. Deck's good. Okay, we're not playing this. I don't like where this is going. When you have no game against this top deck, like, it's not a reasonable thing. Thank you, Hugo. Alright. Straight dumpster all these. Let's take another look. Because the problem is, these Eldrazi decks, you need to have a lot of pressure, because counterspells don't do anything. The effects are cast triggers, so it gets you. It's just not going to do much against that. Like, that's... If energy was still more popular, it could be fine. What might actually be good is this deck. Hold up. What's Sultai other? Ulamog, Harvester, this thing. I think what we do is we try some Jeskai out. So this does need Thespian Stage. There's that that Sultai deck that looked kind of cool. Let's just play Abzan Sorin. Tired of losing. It's not fun when it's just... it feels like you're playing a different format. So I was thinking of something like this. So you still have your Ulamogs, you still have your Emperors. Abrupt Decay was a card to consider. Because the only play against those Eldrazi decks is be more linear, which we can't really be, or like with these mid-range piles, or kind of go from this angle of attack. Abrupt Decay was something someone had mentioned that was good. We have Dampening Sphere that could be okay against Eldrazi, Needle. Try Abrupt Decay. Try us again. Welcome back, MTG Joe here. Today we are trying out decks ahead of the the Historic Qualifier event in June. Trying to see where the format is, what's happening. We are getting bullied all day by Eldrazi, so trying out decks, seeing what works, what doesn't, and we are going to be playing some Abzan Sorin combo with the Emperor of Bones Ulamog combo. So mid-range deck, Sorin cheats into play Alenda, very strong play. But there's also, you could exile Ulamog the Defiler with Emperor of Bones and then have that attack in right away, deal a bunch of damage. Works out pretty nice. We have Overlord of Baelmark that we can blink with the dedicated Dollmaker. Overlord can find us lands, bunch of removal discard effects. Also Malevolent Rumble as another kind of mill effect. The green is only for Malevolent Rumble in the main. We have Abrupt Decay, Culling Ritual on the side, Shielder for the kind of the mid-range decks. Arcanum of Myriads for Storm decks, Needles, Divine Purge as a sweeper, Dampening Sphere for big mana decks, Stone for sack decks, Surgical for combo. So we will try this out. I think after the last, what we've been, like 2 hours, and a lot of these decks, these fair decks, are just not doing well into Eldrazi. So that is something that we do want to kind of see if Sorin feels any better. If not, I have to find a more aggressive deck. Hey, yeah, the blue decks just didn't have enough power though. The problem is Consign's great if you also have pressure, but we just weren't getting enough in terms of the pressure with those decks. Now we can check maybe going with Esper Sorin, but we were trying Grixis, didn't have enough staying power. They just have too many threats to follow up that you also have to answer like when they resolve. I haven't played Modern in quite some time. The last Modern deck I had Birthing Pod, it got banned. I played Grixis Delver, it got banned, and I pretty much stopped playing Modern. Lotus decks are very playable, both combo and whatchamacallit, like Lotus Control. I just don't enjoy playing those decks.
If you need me, I'll be in the library.
We got the Overlord dedicated Dollmaker combo. Alright, Jeskai Cutter with Mox Amber. Nice start from the opponent. So this could be Jeskai Ascendancy. Love that all our lands are dealing huge amounts of damage to us. Super fun. Alright, give me an Alenda. Give me an Alenda. They drew for turn, which is a good sign. They're starting with that. Back there. That bodes well, because if I get a Lenda, then I just do that. Also helps me set up for this.
Library with I am not defenseless.
I think we're just doing this, passing the turn. They go shields down, then I have the Emperor for next turn. Emery. Repeal is something worth noting. That is an answer. This is a port opponent's playing of a modern deck. So with Jeskai Ascendancy and Retraction Helix,
Use the past to plan for the future.
you're basically able to loop Emery over and over again. Repeal would kind of do that, but this needs haste for the turn. Could just be trying to kill me here. Are you kidding me? Oh my god. Just magically have the main board. We're just getting so incidentally, like, hit today with just random shit. It's so frustrating when it's like do that, just kind of overlord. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. The Dollmaker's fine, Shieldred's fine. Probably get rid of you. Turn on a you. Rumble's probably still okay. In like every deck we've played today, it's just been like opponents been given the heads up notice of what we're on, and they're like, you're allowed to play 4 cards in your main board that host this deck. Because without haste, they're very much just trying to string along. If they didn't have the graveyard hate, we win next turn. So I think this needs to be nerfed because it's functioning on an axis that just limits a lot of what you can do in the format. I think they do need to kind of balance things a little bit better. There's just too much disparity between like the top decks. Like Lotus is a very consistent combo. Sorin just like this game here, we're just gonna oops into Sorin and it's not really gonna matter. Unless they just naturally draw their okay. I have 1 card in hand.
If you threaten Innistrad, I will take it personally. Welcome to the family.
So I think here, just with how our hand's going, I'm just gonna put pressure on them because Tamiyo could just be flipped at any time. I think there's better value doing this. I think this format needs lightning bolts. Just something, because like there's not, the aggressive decks really are just a Johnny like a Johnny piles. There's not a true aggressive deck, which then doesn't punish the Eldrazi decks to the same extent. And then it's just these like Sorin piles. Because like even these games here, like neither game's been interesting. They just popped off and then we popped off. Probably just get the Amber out. It'll basically take their turn. And then I'll just exile their graveyard. Could sack a vampire to kill something. Kill Emery here. Yeah, Auras is probably the best, like, other alternative. That's a good shout. Probably give Auras a shot after this. The graveyard. I play Auras in Best of 1 a lot. So it does have some reasonability for Best of 3. So cutting the graveyard hate was the likely call. Or like the graveyard synergy, they'd have too much graveyard hate. That would have messed up our 4. And at this point they're spinning their wheels. Our sets.
Perhaps there are more useful texts down on the surface.
So I don't have access to a vampire. Do this, because then they don't get any clean blocks. And then I have access to either blow up their mocks, I have Malavent Rumble. Kind of beat him up that way. So we'll lead off with this. For next turn. Shieldred. Sorin's at 3, so it's probably fine. If we had 1 more mana available, then I would have Shieldred. We're doing this because I just get another clean exile of the graveyard. Gonna beat him up that way there. Alright. Spear might be fine. Just like overload on hate pieces. The discard's good. I think just like those effects are good. It might just come down to running auras. It's the most linear. It could put enough pressure. The problem is if people are prepared, it's easy to hate it out, and there's not really a non-creature pivot to the deck. You're basically, if they're bringing Divine Purge, Temporary Lockdowns, Hulling Rituals, they're just going to get you. I actually don't think this hand's good. We have no discard. We have no card advantage. Alright, this hand's good. Come on. Keeps the hand with the combo. We do have a lot of... So I actually think here we wait. Do it as a turn 2 play. Because I thought Seas make sure they don't have a counter Fragment Reality on their end step. And they whiffed there. Then I just take out Emery, or I take out one of their effects. Emery milling here and not hitting is strong. Do this. Violenda.
Join my crusade.
That card's scary. And then we follow it up with Dampening Sphere. Narset's a reasonable threat. They can bring that back, which is strong too.
I bestow a mighty
So we do this. A dedicated Dollmaker Lenda. Get the Faith's Feathers, put it onto Emery. This way they don't get to activate to cast. I get another big body here. That should be enough. Got him. I mean, like when we're playing the strong decks, they do what they need to do. And that was even less without any of our hate pieces coming in. It was just... This is why, like, I think Sorin needs to be banned. We really shouldn't have won that game. We weren't doing anything other than paying 3 mana and then just kind of bullying them in that regard. There could be like a way to build auras to have anti-control hate. Would be good. I guess there's Chain to the Rock now that you might be able to get. Fine. Right. The Copy Crook Gamer. I'm gonna get Dollmaker here. I can get the land off that. Beautiful. What you got? Just lands, so you're probably some sort of combo deck. Or you've just drawn terribly. It's less, like it's more, not what you're tutoring up in auras, it's the fact that you have no alternate game plan. Like here we can pivot to like a mid-rangey deck. I don't know what they're on, but they're on colors that probably can't deal with this or Shieldred, so let's just try this. Like, for example, you can bring in a Planeswalker or some sort of enchantment, just something that gives you an alternative to, well, hopefully they don't have temporary lockdown. When they kind of get you like that, then it's a bit difficult to actually navigate. Opponent did not want to play. Like, I would love if Ninjas was playable again. I think that deck's really fun. Be fine. Probably Auras. Ocelot's Pride. Lightning Helix. I think we still do that. Because it forces them to play off turn. Oh, I messed that up. I'm doing this just because it gives me a couple different bodies. 2 removal spells for me. I mean, we're a Lenda away from winning. Haha! You've fallen for my trap! Amulet's kind of annoying, but... Wait, call. Given their hand.
I drink only the finest.
They're gaining some life. I'm doing this to kind of fake that I have another effect. That's annoying.
May our axes strike as one.
This is the part where it's like, this deck has no... card selection. This is a dead card now. We need Overlord of the Baelmerk. Show me a Lenda. Yay! We did it! The Pridemate line doesn't make sense. They just flip a Johnny anyways. Think we're just going card advantage here. I should have attacked first. They could flip a Johnny here, but then they don't get Ocelot's Pride attack. So if I attack, there's a chance they... Oh, come on. Second a Johnny. So that will be 5 damage through. Part of the problem is trying to push through and deal damage to this Ajani now. Sack the land, doesn't do much. Part of the problem again, like they needed a red source for that to actually work. And we're at the point we're going to hardcast Ulamog.
Taste of my power.
So this just gives me multiple bodies every turn. Ah, this game's annoying. Just nothing in terms of sustained card advantage. Then they hit Amulet. This is gonna get this line. I'm gonna say it's gonna hit the static prison.
More join our cause. Lost what little trust I had.
Oh my god. Come on. If I was them, I'd probably trade my whole board for a Lenda. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not even like a witch enchanter or something that would be like reasonable. They do that before activating or before fetching. That's a good one to hit because now they gain the life for Ocelote's Pride and they have everything going. Just gonna luck into this. Can't actually win at this point. They found their thing. Look to Johnny, too much. So Culling Ritual, Abrupt Decay, Stone of Erich. Don't think we want Peddler, but Divine Purge seems good. I think we still do the Ulamog play. It's just like the big over the top line. Plus, if they have enough, I can just hardcast it, which is cool. One cut. Let's just play control. I guess Archon of Emeria is not terrible. Shuts down a bunch of what they're doing. We just needed them to not find something to gain life. Like, just, they didn't get punished. Their sequencing was pretty poor on some of those lines. Drawing a card, like sacking your land before drawing off Amulet. Graveyard's not too relevant. No. You're not a real creature.
Welcome to the family.
Three feathers here, Sorin next turn. I got 2 fragments ready. Probably fragmenting the Soul Warden. Honestly, could do more work than some of the other cards. Plus it's a 1, so they don't get to hit into something, which has some utility as well. Sequencing. You usually want to go first with the amulet, then play a land. The play is likely a Johnny for turn. I don't want him to gain life.
To the hunt.
This before they get the second cat. Because then I have this for next turn. This is coming off soon as well. So they did gain some life and energy. Bombardment's a bit annoying, but we can blow it up, thankfully. So that will get them to be prevented from, because what they could do is block. We get this next turn, so depending what they do, we could have a line. That can get big enough now. 5, 10. So they will get 2 tokens. Yeah, Swiss Spear's teaching is really strong. I'm doing this so I can get Faith's Feathers to get rid of you. Overlord will come back for me next turn. Because depending... Energy's fine now. We're actually 1 off. I had Sorin that I could have snuck into play and then flung my Elenda at them. I think we're okay spot. It might be worth trying energy with Quarry Steelcutter.
Nothing
Okay,
is
they're getting a
more
bunch of life.
family.
Quite annoying. Our calling ritual is in the yard. Bunch tokens. Ah, they found bombardment. Okay, so we will have to Sorin for Elenda. Just keep stealing these. I just think this deck's too inconsistent. We're just not getting enough card advantage.
Hunt down the deceivers! More join our cause!
Dead. Scrap it. You're not attacking at enough of an angle. It just feels silly. You're trying to do this like fair stuff. This format is tough to figure out. Historic best of 3. Try Auras. I do like Auras, it's linear. There's the Voice of Victory versions. I don't want to play Samcat. I'm just taking a look at what to play. Thank you. We had Culling Ritual, we had Divine Purge, we just didn't see. It was just, none of those cards from the opponent's deck were from Alchemy. They were all Modern Horizon 3s, so. I have a best of 1 Auras deck. We'll take a look at this best of 3 version. Make some changes. So I typically like... in best of 3, I think you want the Amped Raptor. In best of 1, I usually will play Hushbringer in the main. I think that's fine. I think we do -1 Giver and play all that glitters. Not flitters, glitters. Alright. Mana base. It's reasonable. Sideboard, I do want to make some changes. Runs Crypts, Needle, Hushbringer, Fragment, Lauren. I think that's okay. I don't think there's anything against the Eldrazi deck we can do that we need to really consider, but they're not really interacting with us too well anyways, so I think we're fine. Let's run it. So I don't mess up my my versions. Give this one a go. The only other thing we can try I'm not going to enjoy Lotus. I just know based on my playstyle it's going to be one that I don't have fun with. I want to play a Quarry Steel deck, but they're just not consistent enough. With like a Johnny, probably too many 2s in that deck, which limits what you can do because you want a lot of cantrips in there. I don't think we can play like enough energy stuff. So let me walk this one through. Sorry, just taking a sec. Welcome back, MTG Joe here. Today we are trying to find a deck for the historic qualifier weekend in June. We tried out a bunch of different things. It's very hard to brew in this format right now. The top decks are very oppressive, and then you run into times consistency with some of the other decks. But Auras has been a deck that's treated me very well in best of 1. It's usually my climbing deck. I want to see how it plays out in best of 3. The core of the deck is using both Light Paws and Core Spirit Dancer to get card advantage, and then they kind of toolbox you with auras, put on a bunch of different auras, get a whole bunch of different effects, and beat them that way. The big difference in kind of the flex spot is Amped Raptor versus Hushbringer. We're going to try the Amped Raptor in the main board for card advantage, Hushbringer's in the side. Then it's just kind of protection effects, removal, Luris Companion mixed in. So we'll give it a go, see how it plays out, if it treats us well, and we'll kind of report back. I'm not gonna run like Neoform. I personally don't really like playing combo decks too much. Prefer like tempo aggro. I just don't want a deck that's like reliant solely on one card. I prefer decks that can play disregarding kind of like the other decks, stuff of that nature. Like you just play through your deck as it comes, it goes. The only other thing that we might try, we'll give this a game, see how it plays, is maybe you could look at Demir tempo, but like Demir Frog with like the Ulamog combo, but I think that's another deck that might be a little too fragile. Opponent, where are you? Let's play some games. The problem with like the Demir deck, you're again kind of a pseudo combo deck. Your threats aren't the greatest, so if they have a couple pieces of interaction, it works on you. We could try playing like the Oculus. No, the boon is it's like a temporary emblem. So it gives you like a one-time effect. So Swiss Spear's Teaching is kind of the big one. Maybe we could try Wizards. Just see how that plays out. The problem is I found like Wizards was awkward with being a Quarry Steel deck. So I think either we have to be a Quarry Steel deck or we have to be a deck. I think I almost like just being more prowess oriented. Ditch the wizard stuff and then play like Surgical's mains, something like that. We could try that instead. Opponent seems to have been disconnected. So we can give that a go. Like we know Auras is going to be a top deck. I'm just kind of getting burnt out of getting bullied. Because I do think having a deck with blue gives you a good chance in this format. Just Consign to Memory is a very strong card. So I think that is a good place to start. It's disconnected. Because I do think you have to be more aggressive. Arcanist has felt pretty mid when you can't haste it out. So you can look at, like I do like the spear or flick shot just because it goes over the top a little bit better. Let's try that out. Let's try to do a build of Izzet. Yeah, usually it's largely how the game plays out. I think they can beat it. And that's kind of, because like if we look at the Izzet's lists, it's kind of clunky. Like you have a bunch of 2s. These don't do anything unless you're already committed to the board. These birthday celebration stuff, this is one of the lists from Untapped. I don't think it's like great in that regard. Against Auras, you need more instant speed burn to kind of deal with that. You could do like Fry as something, Lithomantic Barrage as something. But I think if we build this, we scrap this, I actually think, like I said, Arcanist is kind of a trap. Do think I want to play more haste focused. Symmetry Sage is another card that's very good when you get going, but it's poor when you are hellbent because it doesn't attack on its own. I think if we get without the Wizards package, play I wanted to try Talent. So we do Talent, we do Swiss Spear. Then we do bolts. Not bolt wave. Deal 2. We don't have enough artifacts to pull this off, but that one's an interesting. Burst lightning. Then you play Quarry Steel. Again, it's too expensive. Like, you usually want to interact with the creatures. Yeah, I'm doing Quarry Steel. Like, I'm going to build the Quarry Steel deck. I want to do it like that. Then we want Consider. And then I want Expressive. I'm going to do it like that. Yeah, Eldrazi's very strong. It's been beating us up all day, which is kind of why I've been moving off these mid-range decks. It beats up on any sort of slow deck because it just goes over the top. Yeah, no, they've been kicking our ass, like Eldrazi decks. We could try stock up. We can do also, like I do with Hearth Elemental. There's also Treasure Cruise. Let's do Treasure Cruise. And then just do Opt. Treasure Cruise just refills our hand better. I think 3 copies. We were trying Sorin. It does its thing. It's not guaranteed to always win. Like, we lost to Energy twice when we had turn 3 Elenda because they just went wider than us. And they gummed up the board and we couldn't interact with the Johnny. I think the problem with Sorin decks is they don't have great card advantage engines. So I think you have to also back up. Sorin, yeah, I think they could reword a Johnny. Sorin, I think, should just, the -3 should just say like CMC 5 or less. And Sowing Mycospawn probably on 5. It's too easy for them to, like, we had a game against them where they had 6 mana on turn 3. And then I just got Ugin like right after. Okay, so this one, we got card advantage. We do have just a little bit of interaction, which isn't great. So maybe we play another, just Play with Fire or Shove Aside or Flood Maw. No, I think I want all my spells to go face. Play with Fire. Okay, let's try that. And then the sideboard. Sleep Curse Fairy should not be a card. Banefire should not be a card. Test Talents should not. Yeah, it's just it's playing kind of the style of deck you are. We've played a lot of Sorin in the past. If you want to see how like the decks play out, Lotus Field combo is a strong deck. It's just I don't enjoy that deck. Wizards, I think, can be reasonable against Eldrazi because you play a linear plan. I think Eldrazi, like if you could kill them on turn 4 or so, I think you're reasonable. It's when you try to stretch out the game multiple turns. Like Eldrazi does have whatchamacallit, the Chalice that you have to watch out for. So I want Consign to Memory. Fry. We could do Fry, or we can do... I don't want a Braid necessarily. I do want some more removal. Stern Scolding too many, Spell Pierce too many. Qualifiers in June. So it's usually like best of 1 like the first week, best of 2 or best of 3 the second week. We want Needle. And then what's the white Rending Volley? So we could try Volley. We could also do Barrage. Or just Shove Aside. Probably more flexible. Aiden, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, ladders and events could sometimes differ. For the alchemy one, when I was doing practice for it, it seemed fairly similar. So we have a braid, and then maybe just like... Because this consign could be okay. I probably just want Flood Moss. Play like 2 Flood Moss. The events were funny. When I was practicing for alchemy, I was either going 7 wins or 0 wins. I had no 2 wins, no 3 wins. It was best of 1, so it was like really swingy. Flood Moss, Consign, a Braid, Spell Pierce, Shove Aside. Probably don't need a Braid and can play Search. Actually, you know what's better than stone is... Okay, I'm not going to play Santa. We're going to play Torpor Orb. None of our creatures get hit by it. I haven't done historic events in a while. Alright. Let's try some Corey Historic. Alright, what do we think? This one gonna do anything? Welcome back, MTG Joe here. Today we are trying to find a deck that's not Sorin, Lotus Field, Eldrazi, or Auras that might have a chance in the upcoming historic qualifier in June. One of my favorite formats. It's being a bit frustrating today playing. We've been the wrong side of some variants, but we're going to give this a go, see how it plays. So I don't think the Wizards deck is that great right now. It's a bit slow in terms of getting going. I think Arcanist, while strong with the Swiss Spear's teaching, doesn't do much on its own. It's like a #1 target. I like things that inherently have haste, and I want to play Steel Cutter. I think Steel Cutter's better value in terms of grindier matchups. Arcanist gets hit, doesn't really do much. Arcanist still needs to attack to get a lot of the value out of it as well. I'm going to try Balmor in here. It gets better with the haste from Swiss Spear's teaching. Still playing Symmetry Sage because I think it's one of the better 1-drops here. The alternative is we can go with like some Tamios in here, but I think Tamio makes it a little bit more mid-rangey, which I don't love. Play with Fires as just additional burn with Burst Lightning, some Surgical's main. I want to see how Storm Chaser's talent fares in the format, and then some Treasure Cruises on the top end to refill. Sideboard, Consign Memory for Eldrazi, Spell Pierce, cheap Disruption, Stern Scolding for Luris Piles, Blood Moss, cheap bounce, Shove Aside is cheap removal, Pithing Needle for activated abilities, Torpor Orb to shut off ET effects. So let's give this one a go. We've been largely getting our ass kicked today, so I've yet to be able to follow through with a full video recorded. But we have the live one, which is always good. So Kind of like Quarry Steel, as you can see. Let's see how this one plays out. Eldrazi is very strong. The reason I'm not playing Eldrazi right now is I need like 12 mythics. Fernanda, thank you for the sub. I just like you got to spend mythics on cards that only work in that deck, and I spent so many like mythics on timeless stuff that I don't use anymore that it hurts my heart. All right, I think this is good. Opponent goes first. We have a couple options how to play it out. Dragons. So we could set up like a huge slick shot turn. See how we play this out. I might do prowess, no prowess, like sequencing it like that. Dragon. I should have drawn first. I think here we drew the other talent. Could potentially just let them connect one more time. Try to kill them the following turn because they're playing dragons. And then just try to beat them down next turn because this is 11. I have 4 points of burn, so they'll need multiple. Yeah, this has already felt a lot more aggressive than some of the other decks. And they do here. I think they have an answer for Slick Shot. They need multiple answers here. Fatal Push. Still got it. Alright. Dragons! Probably just Spell Pierce and some Flood Moss. Take out probably Qualifier, Surgicals. Slick Shot's not bad because of the haste. Probably better than Balmor. The games might go longer, so I might need that. Could also just get rid of a piece of burn. Kind of like what's better, Symmetry Sage or the talent. Let's trim like that. I mean, that was just a lot of damage really quick. So some interesting lines here, how we can approach it. Could go Balmor here. They could have a sweeper. Counter. Spelling to exhale. Sounds annoying. Fearsome Well. This is beginning of your end step. No land there really sucks. This is why I don't love these in multiples. Like if we can't play spells. Our mana base is also really awkward that I can't hold up the Pierce. I think we probably, now that we saw these whelps, we want to keep the little one around. Get pierced. Good. The sweeper. Really awkward, like just not being able to refill our hand well. These not triggering Symmetry Sage is a non-bow, but these would have just been a different creature. No, my treasure cruise. We literally just need a spell. Ah, blowout. This game's been so awkward. Yeah, I don't think we could play this many treasure cruises. We don't fill our yard fast enough to get, it's not like it's Phoenix. They would have got 2 non-land spells here, which probably gets us. One-sided sweeper is going to get you. Flick shot. Man, if we stuck the steel cutter, maybe it would have worked, but... not great. Burst lightning. Yeah. Getting the cost reduction on those makes it really good. Or mana, draw 2 5/5s. Up. Four damage. This. Wasn't too bad, like we trade with their board. And now I lose. Alright. That was a weird one. Definitely want those back in. The sweeper's available. I think we do that. Just no spells, all creatures. Prevents you from kind of doing your thing. Keep this one. I think it is land back. This also only triggers off instants and sorceries. No! Why do you... Nazis. So annoying. Yeah, we're just kind of getting bullied here. I think we hold this off. Doing this now so they don't get the cost reduction. Hey Zaba. 3 cards in the yard. Yeah, we really can't play this many Treasure Cruise. Just hasn't been doing anything. We probably would have been okay with a Quarry Steal. Blood Maw also feels pretty bad. I think we do it on our turn. Do this, just kind of push through damage. Trying to get this Treasure Cruise unlocked. We're probably getting swept here though. Should have bounced it. Nothing. So I don't like these cards in this deck that don't allow you to be proactive. Perfect. 2 lands. Just absolute shitters. Alright. We failed spectacularly. Let's fix this up a bit. Treasure Cruise, the theory of it works well, the practicality of it doesn't. We're just not filling our yard enough. It would work in Phoenix because you're usually milling yourself over. Could go Hearth Elemental and then just like another Consider. Or like play Opt maybe. I don't know if we want Symmetry Sage. Like, it felt kind of mid. Maybe play 3. Or play 2 and then play more draw. Yeah, I played a lot of Illuminating Lash, but I want more 1-mana spells, I think, in this format. We just have to be more proficient. It's probably just going to be Opt, to be honest here. There's Mentor's Guidance, but we're not playing like the full Wizards package because Swift Spear doesn't work. It's a Monk. And this is a Otter. I like these. These worked well. In terms of red, there's the Anger. I don't think we want to be on looting because it's not card advantage, it's card selection. Anger requires you to target a creature, which isn't as good. There is the creatures get trample that we can play as well. Played that before, but I think it's just Opt. Because you could do it at instant speed as like a combat trick. Let's try this one more time. Like, we tried the Izzet version with like Affinity, but you just kind of get your ass kicked. You don't have, like, you play a lot of spells, but you don't actually do any. Well, I find a lot of times. Alright. Probably one too many lands, but we have the Den here. If we flood, Birds of Paradise. So this is the Battle Crier deck. So it's a mono green devotion deck that's playing the Teamer Battle Crier to go infinite. You can play out Slick Shot aggressively here.
Just can't help myself.
Much damage is that? That's 5, 6. Or is on 7. I can kill it, but I think we need to find another spell. That'll do. Top of the lands.
Tides always rise again.
What's up? I needed to do this on their upkeep. That was a mistake on my part. They have stormed the festival. They have slows them down a bit. They could Karn here, but Karn's just dead.
This is for our protection.
Give me a spell. Thank you. Let's take him off this.
Miscalculate.
So they are going to use One Ring to fog for the turn. I can use this to buy back Surgical Extraction. Which works pretty well. I think, because like realistically, Karn is their way out. They draw a card. Could just go Opt as well for next turn. By Surgical, it takes out most of their win conditions. I might go back to Monstrous Rage. I wanted to be more cards that always work, but I think Rage could have some utility. We could get Surgical here. Because if I hit another land, then I could just do Storm Chaser's talent up. Because with One Ring, they have to tap at least a mana here, so it puts them to 3. And if they go a creature, I can bounce it with Otawara to tempo them. Could have bounced it, but it has the potential to then get me again. Fire's fine. Alright, we flooded pretty hard there, but still did okay. So Torpor Orb, Needle. Consign is okay. Battlecryer's a 4/3. Okay, so those come in. Extraction's fine. Swift Spear probably comes out. It just gets eaten up too easily, I think, on the ground. Like our flyers are probably better. Probably trim on an Opt. Trim on a Play with Fire. So Reckless Charge, most of our things have haste anyways, and it doesn't do, but I think Monstrous Rage could be something we look at. My problem with these cards is they all require a target. So like in some games it makes sense, but there's a lot of ways to interact. We just bolt the bird. Probably just play Otawara because I want the selection here. Interesting line here. Like obviously plotting is something. Play this out. Get a turn, but I can needle whatever after. Not having an answer to Fnatic is a bit of a problem. Thought that. Quarry Steel's good. Do this. Arn the Great Creator. Because they can't combo us like this. Like, they're gonna draw cards, play a bunch of stuff, but I do have Otawara also available. They don't have something with reach. It works pretty well. Access to 3 mana.
Let us begin. Better to fight alongside friends than against them.
Sharpshooter. A good card to have as your last one, especially since you hit Karn. That's annoying. Might be dead here. Ancestral Statue is free now.
Not let Phyrexia win.
Perfectly had it. So what they do was they're gonna bounce it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again until they draw a second Karn and then go get it. So even though we had the effect, they still managed to get us. I don't think we need the replicate, but run it back. So much we could have done there. We need Torpor Orb. Alright, let's go aggro. And took them all. No hate pieces, but I have a couple draws for it. They don't birds on one, it's good. Prefer if they birds can interact with that. Hey, that's good follow-up. I think we do this still. Hope to find a line next turn. The Battle Crier. Like, we just want to slow them down. We need one more land, which would be great.
And you look like lunch. Nature flows with vigor.
Come on. The worst way. Can I potentially kill them? So that's 2. So they're at 14. So then that would go to 4, that'd go to 10, so it wouldn't. So if that's the case, they're not gonna block. They shouldn't block. I think I could afford going one more turn. Door goes to 1. They can't really afford more than 1 untap.
Hands off.
I think we do that. They don't have Nykthos yet. They obviously bully me with Storm, but I think that's the right way. Like, obviously, if we had drawn the land, we could have Torpor Orbed first and then held up, but we had to kind of sequence it the other way. Because now I have 3 spells next turn, potentially 4, depending on how the hand plays out. Draw nothing. Nothing. Earth element. Sick. I think we just take this off the battlefield. Push them here. Bit punished. Take them off this, and then we're in a good spot. So Torpor Orb. So I think against traditional mono green, yes, but this version they bet us on turn like 4. I think they have enough at their arsenal that they can kind of pace through it. This just shuts off a lot of what they're doing. Because we wouldn't have had answers. We have a hard time dealing with some of their bigger stuff. Because we don't have like the traditional full burn package that some of the other versions did in the past. Because I can't attack through this normally. And then they just pop off. They win this game if we don't have Torpor Orb. So Ominous Traveler can't be tutored off of whatchamacallit? Karn. So you have like Karn just gives you more flexibility to doing it. That worked pretty well. Burning Hands only hits green things. Blue and white is typically where it hits it with some of those. Yeah, I wouldn't like, it's not a matchup like if I hit Rest in Peace it wins the game. Like even there we had Needle one game. And it still wasn't enough for their, like they happened to have the thing to kill my Needle, and then they had Karn and they went to town. They had exactly enough creatures to go through the combo. This is why I like Slickshot better than Arcanist. Like, Arcanist wouldn't have done anything on that board. Slickshot just pumped through huge amounts of damage. This is more my playstyle. Like, you can close the games out quick. You can play a tricky game. You have, like, cheap counters, random things like that. I think cutting the treasure cruise was right. We just weren't filling our yard enough. Play first. Kind of crazy, but I'm gonna try it. Come on. Keeps a risky hand. Thoughtseize turn 1. My brother, there was nothing to think about with that. I'm gonna hold this so that they don't... No, I'm actually gonna opt. Because I can't actually push through damage this turn, it's not worth hasting this out. This could be Abzan Sorin. Could be like an Arcanist build. It's Abzan Sorin. Bad. It's not bad. Mana's just really awkward. Problem is, like, if they have Sorin here, it just absolutely wrecks me this turn. He's got to push as much damage as possible this turn. Or he steal. What are they going to be at? I'll push through like another... They'll be at 7. I think we just got to try to burn them. Hope that they don't have Sorin this turn. Because I could play around Fatal Push. Naturally. Naturally. Yay! This, everything we did didn't matter. They gotta fix this. Probably Spell Pierce. I don't think we want Surgical in this matchup. Balmor's probably fine just to trim 1. An opt, play, probably. The ops. Yeah, these are frustrating games. I think Sorin's weak to energy because it doesn't win you the game. There's positions you can win, but they have Goblin Bombardment that could play around it afterwards. A Johnny, okay. Not doing anything now. I just think there's like ways that they can get you afterwards. It's my thoughts. They also can like outpace you. So if you have Calling Ritual, it helps. I think you have to also have the Ulamog. Oh, fuck off. Every single game. Jesus. Yeah, with Calling Ritual, it's a good matchup. If you don't hit it, like our games, we just never hit our Divine Purges. We didn't hit our Calling Rituals. So it didn't matter what we did. And they had Amulet going, and then it outpaced you. If you draw your interaction, it can do stuff. If you don't, fortunately not. My life total largely doesn't matter in this matchup, so... I found that issue with even like playing the last qualifier as well. Was if you didn't hit it, it just didn't matter. Okay, so we need one turn of them just not soaring us on curve 2 games in a row. We can dodge that, we're good. A land lets us play both of these, which is funny. For real? They didn't even like maul this time. So dumb. This is the problem with Wizards, it's like you can't... If they just have it, you're really soft to it. You don't go wide enough to actually do anything, but... Literally a turn. A turn, we're fine. Just both games, turn 3. Thought sees you. Removal you. And like you have no counterplay once it resolves. None of your spells remove it. Bouncing it's not really effective. They've already done their damage usually. And like you can overboard, play a bunch of cheap counters, but they're going to play a bunch discard against you. And you also need to kind of put pressure on them. Very, 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 very frustrating. So that Jund version will play into Ulamog, but it's like turn 4. We can deal with the Ulamog because it's easy to kill Emperor Bones. That looks good. Probably another Sorin pile. And we're flooding. We're not Sorin. I'm gonna hold off here. They want to attack, they don't get a good attack here. Probably race past. Are they just that? Definitely raise past vibes. I'll do that. Lets us Balmor and do that. Hold up Ottawara. Probably not. They're gonna like ping us a lot. Next turn, dump our hand potentially, slick shot. What do they have in their hand? They're just trying to like meat hook me? That's so bad. But also like hilarious. Just the classic creature deck with sweepers. Earth Elemental continuing to be goated. Draws nothing but lands. Pop it if needed. This So I could haste this out. I forgot about that. Might have been right. Actually ridiculous. We're at 19 cards. We've seen 9 lines. Not even like utility lands. Shouldn't matter too much here, like they're forced to block. They have another race pass that's gonna get us, but I have to play as though they don't have it. Have it, because why wouldn't they? Do this. Do this. Do this. I love you, Magic. I don't know. They probably have enough to survive, but they just kill me that way. I don't think we could have held back. I was gonna die anyways. So dumb. Not a single spell, like, any point. Spell Pierce. They don't really have ETBs. More like death triggers. Just a very weird game. Very, very weird. They had the flyer to protect them, so they got around it. I guess surgical's fine still. Some ops. That should not be gonna find anything. I'm gonna save this because I don't have anything to trigger this yet. Give me a land. Should have probably plotted this, but there's a high upside if I draw a land. Which we did. Basically, it's who can race to kind of snowball first. That's why if you look at sideboards, they're pretty consistent. Sure. Like, everyone's going to have Surgical, it's going to have Stone of Erich, it's going to have Pithing Needle. So gobos aren't really played too much anymore. They are like too slow, but yeah, you have to be able to kind of interact. We do have tools for that matchup. Kelney's good because I can do... I'm gonna plot because they've shown sweepers already. They might have been dead. We had 3 more damage. Because next turn I have this for free, plus this Hearth Elemental. I need Hook. Got him. Okay, so they do have a lot of sweepers that we have to be mindful of. Like when their deck's not sweeper, sweeper, raise pass, raise pass, raise pass, we can do okay. The counters I don't think really are effective. Honestly, like, even some of the burn I don't think I want in this matchup. Probably just cantrips. The surgicals are fine because I can... Yeah, you can't play a Forest Snapcaster. The control decks can't really interact. Like, the control decks have to play... I think I keep this. They have to play, like, the Proctors. Hit a land. Hit a land. Give me a land. God. I mean, this hand was worth keeping. We had interaction, we had a bunch of cheap stuff. Wizards is not the strongest right now. Wizards is kind of knocked down quite a bit. Come on. Sorin's strong. This is just annoying. We took a line. I think it was reasonable. Sweeper. Hey, finally. Problem is... can't really do anything. Affinity can have strong draws, but it's not really a strong deck. Consistently, I would say. Gets hated out by too many things. Do we think the keep was wrong? Like one land with a cantrip? To like. Lines, and we are on the draw. Yeah, Life Gain Angels isn't going to be like a consistent deck. It's a little bit lower in terms of like playability. Land. Love that. Yay! 18 cards, 2 lands. Make it make sense. So it's kind of hard to evaluate this when you just didn't actually see anything. Problem is we're just dead like a bunch of different ways. Not really much to kind of derive from this. We went 18 cards, we saw 2 lands. Like, I don't know how bad the deck is, but when it's hard to assess. Like, you're not getting actual input because you're not able to see what you're drawing. Like, you draw 18 cards, 2 lands, 16 non. We hit a second land there, and the hand's great. Auras. This will be a good test. If they have just light pause, we lose. Not much that can be done. Don't have light pause, we maybe stand a chance. We had to kill that then. Since we didn't have another burn spell, it doesn't matter because we can't hold up to protect. Spirit Dancer maybe can dodge it, but part of the problem here is now they're just gonna have a very big attacking creature. And one of my lands deals damage, and we're not hitting another land. So, we're just... seeing this play out well. This is the problem with like this deck, is we're just not able to kind of interact well. This could come out. Probably Balmor is like the most awkward. And this is like the problem with Wizards into the format. You can't, like, you could have the hands that are decent, but when they have like the double cheap auras, they have the protection spell, even Esper Sentinel is enough of attacks. There's a lot of decks where if you don't have the right answer at the exact moment, there's no catch up with this deck. You can't deal with the Resolve Delenda. If Light Pause comes down, you can't deal with a Resolve Light Pause with like some sort of effect on it. So it does present a little bit of an issue. No, this deck's not good. Like, consistent. Auras is strong. Auras just doesn't make for great content. Part of what I'm doing here is trying to see if a deck jumps out to me. I find the Sorin decks a bit frustrating. You kind of... There's games you're just going to win, and then there's games where it seems like you're hopeless, and I don't like being in that round. I like when there's some agency around what you're doing. What I like, the theory of this deck is something I would potentially like, but hard. Again, this is part of the problem. Like, if I don't deal with that, it ends up hurting me more than anything. And if they the land, forces me to do this. There's no set Neoform deck. We're just getting punked. Because if they go light pause here, we're basically dead. So we've consistently missed lands like multiple turns with the deck. It's a frustrating one. Neoform's a best of one deck. Any of those cheese combo decks is going to be best of one. You can't play like a best of three match because like you can kill the creature on the stack, you can kill the haste enabler, you can play like various counter effects. It's the same with like persist combo, woodlands combo. They're very strong in best of one, anything linear, but when you're kind of going to best of three, not going to yield the best results. So yeah, Wizards has been way too inconsistent. We lost to bad decks and we can't beat good decks. Which is just not where you want to be. All right, going down. Classic, don't interact with me, bro. So Auras is a deck that's been around for multiple years. So that's part of it. It hasn't really changed. The games play out pretty much the same every time. Like light pause, play light pause, get something like that. I think things that are like swingy, honestly like the Ulamog is flashy in that case. Different decisions for different matchups, like how we're playing this game out. They've been representing Fatal Push. So now I have Elenda. And now I can't really do much here. They could still have Fatal Push, but I have to play as though they don't. So now we do go in on it, I think. If they have the Fatal Push, they have the Fatal Push. They have enough mana to use it. But largely can't do anything here. I can take rid of the token. They make another token. So I actually think we do this. Because I think I can kill them next turn, potentially, provided they don't have removal for Light Pus. They don't have removal, I can get Fly, I have 2 Ethereal Armors, and a Sentinel's Eye. I did this one over All That Glitters because I could draw. Sorin gives them another thing. Taking the token here, just even if they kill it, Sorin can gain him 3 more life if they want, but I'm not blocking anyways. Taking Elenda is the highest variance line, because if they kill my light pause, then I just lose. Sorin's already done most of its damage. Fatal Push. I feel like maybe if they had Fatal Push should be... This deck I'll play Calling Ritual on the side. Okay, they're dead. Oh, they are very dead. Yeah, no, that's true. They'd have to sack their Alenda. That would take their whole turn. Alright. I pressed buttons to your pressing of buttons. So, Amped Raptor out. Hushbringer in. Needle for Sorin. Lawrence escape. Four cards to cut. Got a couple sheltered. One Giver of Ruins. And maybe Hushbringers. I think if you want to play, like, the best combo deck in my opinion is Lotus Field. It's attacks out on an angle that, like, game one most people don't have the right things for it, and then post board you can kind of pivot. Like, it's not completely reliant on the graveyard per se, but it does play Flood Maw to bounce. So that was 3 turns, do nothing into Prage. So turn 4 was the first time we played anything. Lotus has a lot of ways to just bounce hate pieces between Blood Maws, as well as they have Brotherhood's End. They also have Divine Purge, which works. So they got the Fatal Push this time. I went that over Demonic Ruckus. Do you have the Hammer Hand? I think going this one is fine. Jarsal Push is annoying. Set up for next turn. Bad if they have Thoughtseize, but go for it now. So I actually think we leave Jarsal alone. Mind you, sheltered does provide some protection. We'll get Ethereal Armor here. We'll get Sentinel's Eye. Almost lethal. Almost lethal. I think they can turn 4. Turn 3 maybe. They use Deserted Temple. So they don't have to spend a full turn doing... I'll show you a list after this. They don't have to do Thespian Stage to copy it. Deserted Temple does it right away. Kind of all in here. Taxes them quite a bit. This is kind of what I found with the Sorin decks. It's just like they do nothing. Me. They had it. We are 1 off. 1 enchantment off. And that was the next card. If you go on my Aether Hub, just type like Lotus and it should come up. Yeah, we just need to survive this turn. Let's have him not mill over Ulamog. That should shut off Ulamog as well. Probably should be getting Sentinel's Eye out of my yard. You have 5, me. Calling Rituals destroyed. Got him! Yeah, the thing is, I like it with their auras because you can tutor them with Light Pause. So we have the protection auras now. Alright, we got an enchantment, or an achievement. What do we get? Keyword soup. Alright. Our Light Pause got it for us. So, how'd we do today? How did we do today? Aura's good. Izzet mid. Sorin okay. This one pissed me off. This one pissed me off. This one got land screwed, so bit of everything. The Lotus deck. You look at it. Lotus. So basically, they wish for their win conditions, and then it's just a Lotus Breach deck. Your Artist Talent churns through your deck. You have Underworld Breach to kind of go off. The Deserted Temples taps and taps Lotus Field. Stock up refills your hand for cheap. Then you win with Tendrils. You can mill out your opponent with Tome Scour. You could draw your deck with Jace. But you have Divine Purge and then Flood Moth to deal with most of the common hate pieces. And it works like that. The deck list will be on my Aether Hub. There's also like Lotus Control that uses Strict Proctor. And then this one uses Thespian Stage. This one's more control based. And then it uses Stifle effects to stop. You have Stifle as well in these, which I think Stifle is like well situated in some of these. I might try Lotus just to give it a go, see if I can play it or not, but not really a deck I typically enjoy. All right, folks, we've been on for a couple hours now. I am going to go work on some dinner. They play Woodlands with Fable. Fable's to kind of be a post-board sideboard option typically if they attack your graveyard, but I think a lot of it is in best of 3 just not really effective. Like if you look at Woodlands, it's typically only in the Eldrazi decks. So it's mono green, Eldrazi that you see it in. So it's not like a huge amount. So folks, thank you everyone for hanging out today. We'll be back. I'll catch you next time. Thanks.